Hey, Jim Wolf here with dating advice for men who love women. So there are some things that can make you successful in life that can hurt your chances with women. And that's what this presentation is about. I was on a coaching call with one of my top clients the other day, and afterward he sent me an email and said, hey, you know that distinction that we talked about where you said that success with women requires different things than success in life? That was really powerful for me. And because it was so powerful for him, I wanted to share that with you and then go deeper into it a little bit as well. So that's what we're going to do in this presentation. So being successful in life doesn't necessarily make you successful with women. There are some rich guys out there who thought that getting a lot of money would get them women, and they're still struggling with women. And I know that because I coach those guys. And they're really cool. It's just that dating and also having a romantic relationship is a separate skill than everything else you learn. And just like being good at business doesn't necessarily make you good at poker or football or music, being good at those things or anything else doesn't make you good with women. And being successful in dating and having a successful relationship with a woman are skills you can learn just like anything else. Some guys just happen to learn them when they're very young. That's the guy that you think of as a natural. He just observed what someone else was doing in his life with women and picked that up at an early age. It's something that we have to learn, just like playing poker. There's nobody who's a natural at playing poker. Maybe one guy's a little more intelligent, so he picks it up faster, but it's a skill that you can learn, and so is being successful with women. So being successful with women requires different things than being successful in life. And by the way, it also requires different things at different times in your relationships with women. And we're not going to go into that today, but I do want to go into some distinctions between success in some areas of life and success with women. So here are some things that can make you successful in life that can actually hurt you in dating. And these 10 small distinctions or changes in your thinking that we're going to cover will take your awareness and your success with women to the next level. Number 1, persistence. Persistence can really help you in life. It can help you with business. It can help you in sports. It can help you meet your goals. So persistence is generally a good thing for your life. However, sometimes it can hurt you in dating. So you don't want to ask a woman out 3 times. If you have to ask a woman out 3 times for her to finally say yes, then she's actually not really interested in you, and she's just finally saying yes because either she doesn't have any other options, she thinks, okay, fine, like this guy's kind of nice, she's not actually interested in you. So even if you end up dating her or marrying her, if that's the case, you're going to be with someone who isn't even interested in you, who can never be in love with you. And that's not the kind of relationship I want you to have. It's much better to be with a woman who actually likes you. So whenever I hear a story about a guy who had to ask their wife out 3 times before she finally said yes, I cringe because I know for sure that she's not interested in him. Because if she had any interest in him at all, she would have said yes the first time. And you know what? If you're kind of new to this way of thinking, go ahead and ask her out twice if you want. But 2 times should be your limit. And that's also going to build your self-esteem. There are a lot of really great women out there, and being so persistent with one woman who's not even interested in you just because you're so interested in her is not a great way to approach dating. You know, that 9,000th text that you send her is not going to be the one that finally gets her interested in you. So being persistent is not necessarily a good thing when it comes to dating. And also sometimes you need to back off and let her re-engage you. And let her interest catch up with yours and be a little bit of a challenge. So persistence towards your goals can really be a great thing in life, but it can really hurt you with women because you need to be a challenge and you need to have more self-esteem than asking a woman out 3 times until she finally says yes to you. You're better than that. Next, focus. So focusing on one thing is really great for achieving your goals and succeeding in life. However, it can be dangerous in dating because in the beginning stages of dating, it's dangerous to focus all of your attention on one woman. Not only does that limit your options, it makes it harder for you to succeed because women are attracted to pre-selection, which means that lots of women are interested in you. And if you focus really hard just on one woman right away, she's going to pick up on the fact that you probably don't have any other options. And that's unattractive to her. And she can't help that. It's not her fault. So focusing on one woman really fast can hurt you in dating, even if you end up marrying her. So what you want to do is, instead of looking at how interested you are in a woman, start looking at how interested she is in you. You want to read those signs and see how interested she is in you, and then raise her interest in you over time. That's what successful dating and relationships with women requires, not you just pushing your interest out into the world on women who may or may not even be interested in you. And so when it comes to focus on your life. Focus on building a life that you love living, whether any woman is with you or not. Focus on your mission in life, your purpose in your life. Focus on having fun in your life. And then you can bring her into that reality instead of trying to become complete through her. And don't be afraid to date more than one girl. Most women out there have no problem dating a few guys in the beginning stages. So why should you? Don't feel bad if you're dating a few women until you officially commit to her. Now, once she's your official girlfriend or your wife, obviously you should stop doing that. But in the beginning stages, there's nothing wrong at all with dating more than one woman. And in fact, it gives you a better chance with all of those women if you do that, because you're going to be less needy. And the best way to actually be pre-selected is to actually have a lot of options that you like. If there's 4 or 5 girls that you're going out with that you actually like, you're going to be a lot less needy than if you have one and you're pretending that you have some other options. So don't be afraid to mix it up. Don't be afraid to date more than one girl. There is absolutely nothing wrong with that at all until you've made a commitment to her. Next, goal orientation. Goal orientation is great for retirement planning, but bad for going on a date. You want to let your dates play out naturally. When you're on a date, you want to be present in each moment with her instead of trying to get a particular outcome. And ironically, the less you focus on those outcomes when you're with her, the more good outcomes you will get. The less you focus on outcomes, the more good outcomes you will actually get. So you want to focus on the process of dating only. Enjoy the process of getting to know her, have fun with her, and then you will get those outcomes that you want. And remember, over the long term, there's no such thing as you're in a relationship and that's it. There's actually no final outcome. You're always relating. Your relationship with the woman, whether you're with her for 1 day or 75 years, is just a continuation of an interaction. You're always still relating with her. So I encourage you to respect the flow of life, at least when it comes to dating. And ironically, you're going to have a lot more success. You're going to get a lot more of the outcomes that you want. Next, being hungry or hunger. Being hungry helps you meet your business goals and it helps you win championships in sports, but it can drive women away. Remember that desiring a woman is awesome, but needing her is not. So desire is great, need is bad when it comes to dating. So if you're so hungry for a woman that absolutely nothing can stop you, that could just turn you into a stalker. So you want to have that desire, but not necessarily that extra hunger that can propel you forward towards a championship or something like that, at least as it's directed towards one particular woman. That can be way too much in a dating context, especially if you just met her and you don't even really know her yet. Next, ego. Now, ego gets a really bad rap. However, it's there for a reason. It's there to protect your feelings. So your ego is there to kind of shield you from feeling bad about yourself when you make mistakes, etc. And that allows you to keep going forward in a football game. And it can help you get a raise because it kind of ignores your mistakes and tells you that you're awesome. So even if it's a little bit fake, you might value yourself enough to go tell your boss that you deserve a raise. So it can work in certain scenarios for you. However, it can definitely hurt you in dating because your ego can stop you from becoming more aware about things in dating. It can stop you from noticing that, hey, this woman is actually just not interested in you. I can't tell you how many guys out there are in relationships with or even married to women who actually aren't even interested in them at all. And they don't even know it because their ego could never handle the fact that maybe she's not. And so your ego can stop you from being aware of the reality of your situation with a woman. And because of that, your ego can stop you from improving with women. So when it comes to learning about dating, get rid of your ego and you're going to improve a lot faster. Because if you stop taking dating so personally, you're going to improve a lot faster. You're going to be a lot more open to learning if you're not taking every single thing in dating so personally. So I encourage you to say, hey, thanks, ego. Thanks for protecting me. I'm good. I'm going to get in there and really learn the reality of my situation, and I'm going to improve my dating skills, and I'm not going to be hurt by it. I'm not going to take dating so personally. And if you can switch off your protective ego a little bit, you're going to improve a lot faster. Next, sharing your insecurities. Sharing your insecurities is really good for psychotherapy. So when you're with a counselor, it's really good to talk about your insecurities. And it's really good for improving yourself. However, it's bad when you're on a date. Okay, so when you're on a date, you don't want to be each other's therapists. You're there to get to know each other and to have fun. So at least in the beginning stages of dating, and actually throughout your whole relationship for the most part, you want to keep things between the two of you fun and lighthearted as much as possible. So keep everything lighthearted and fun as much as possible, and don't tell her about all your problems and insecurities on a date. That can really hurt you. Everyone has problems. Everyone has insecurities. But the version of yourself that works on that stuff on your own and then brings a positive attitude on your date is going to be a lot more successful than the guy who just wants to tell her all the problems in your life and who brings negativity into her life and asks her to help him with his problems. So solve your problems and deal with your insecurities on your own time, and then just have a really good time with her. And remember that building a solid connection, building that rapport with her, that really deep emotional connection, that bond that you want, is actually not about having these deep conversations. Studies have shown that you actually build a stronger emotional connection with her by having unique, shared experiences with her. So when the two of you do something together that's new for both of you and you have a good time, that builds a stronger emotional connection than having these kind of deep, serious conversations anyway. So cut that stuff out of your dating life and you're going to do a lot better. And the next one is related to that, and that's building rapport. So building rapport is really good for being friends with someone. It's good for building up rapport with your coworkers. It's good when you're on a team and you want to win. So building rapport can help you win friends and influence people, and it is a necessary component of dating. However, it's also dangerous in dating if it's not also combined with breaking rapport. So building rapport is necessary for dating, but it's dangerous if you don't also combine it with the ability to break rapport with her. That's a huge difference between your dating life and making friends, or your relationships with your coworkers or your family. So yes, those skills still apply. However, you also have to be able to break rapport with her. You have to be able to tease her playfully a little bit. You have to be able to challenge her. You have to be able to build some sexual tension. And remember that in the beginning stages of dating, her being frustrated a little bit with you is very similar to her being attracted to you. So that's not the same as building a friendship with your boss. And you're probably not going to challenge your boss super hard. You're probably not going to say a super challenging line to your boss very often. And you're definitely probably not going to try to build sexual tension with your boss either. Okay, so one huge difference in building a connection with a woman who you want to date versus building a connection with anyone else is your ability to break rapport in addition to building it with her. So yeah, definitely you want to connect with her, but do not seek her approval, and break rapport with her a little bit as well, and you're going to do a lot better. Next, argumentation. Argumentation is great for lawyers and the debate club, but it's actually horrible for dating. You should never argue with a woman that you want to date. You should never argue with a woman that you want to date or be in a relationship with, because you can't win even when you do. When you, quote, win an argument with a woman, she still has those bad feelings towards you that you got from the actual argument. Now, I'm not saying that you should never disagree with a woman. In fact, when you disagree with her, you should definitely let her know, especially in the beginning stages of dating, because she needs to know that you can disagree with her and you're not going to just agree with everything she says just because you're attracted to her. So it's important to be able to disagree with her. Just do it without being disagreeable. Master that skill. Do not try to convince her that you are right. Just firmly and strongly state your opinion. That's disagreeing. Having an argument is trying to convince her that your opinion is correct. And because you're a secure man, your opinions don't require others. Your opinions do not require others. Nobody has to agree with you for you to have that opinion. It's just your opinion, and you feel comfortable expressing your opinion, and you never expect anyone else to agree with you, and you never try to convince anyone else, especially a woman that you want to date, that you are right. However, you're still able to strongly express that opinion. So instead of having an argument with her, be able to disagree with her without being disagreeable, and you're going to do a lot better. And then once you're in a relationship with her, it's a lot easier to change her mood than it is to change her mind. It's a lot easier to change her mood than it is to change her mind. Have you ever been in kind of a bad mood and then someone says something like, "Don't smile." Hey man, seriously, don't smile. In that situation, it's really hard for you not to crack a little smile. And when you start smiling, you start to feel better. And that's kind of what you want to do with her. So when she's making kind of a silly argument, instead of telling her that directly, like, "Hey, that's really silly," instead, set it up so that she sees that she's being silly on her own. And one easy way to do that is just to take whatever she says and agree with it and then exaggerate it so that she can see how silly it is. So if she says, "Hey, we're not sleeping together tonight," you can say, "Yeah, of course we're not. Two people who are attracted to each other should never be allowed to have that much pleasure." Something like that. That's kind of a silly example, but you get the point. And then if she's sharing something with you where she feels kind of hurt and emotional about it, and it's towards you, instead of arguing with her about it, just say, "Yeah, I can see how you'd feel that way. That totally makes sense. I completely understand." So instead of fighting against what she's saying, kind of use a little bit of a judo technique and accept and agree with what she's saying first, and then take it from there. And you're going to have a lot better relationship with her if you do that instead of arguing back. And then when you have something very important to discuss, like how you want to spend your money, or a really important situation is happening soon, and you have to talk about it with her, and maybe you have a different perspective than she does. In those scenarios, you want to discuss it calmly with her for the most part, instead of having a heated disagreement. So there's a couple of things that play into that. Number one, it's really important to choose a woman who likes to discuss things calmly with you for the most part, versus a woman who really loves to argue. Okay, now nobody's perfect about this. We all get emotional, we all get heated. However, there are some women that love to argue, and you want to avoid those kind of women and date someone who would prefer to work things out with you calmly if possible. And then when you're really emotional, instead of just getting into it with her right there, take a walk around the block and come back, because you're going to feel a little bit less pissed off, and then you're going to have a better conversation with her, and you're not going to say something that you regret. And if she has something she wants to talk about that's really important, and you're busy right now, acknowledge that you really want to hear what she has to say, and ask her if you can talk about it later. So you can say, "Hey, I think what you're saying is really important. I want to talk about it with you. Can we sit down 20 minutes from now and discuss it?" So just pick a specific time and ask her if you can sit down and discuss it with her then. And those are just some ways that you can disagree with a woman without being disagreeable instead of arguing with her. And if you follow that general guideline, you're going to do a lot better. Next, logic. Logic helps you program computers, but it doesn't attract women. Logic helps you solve problems, but it doesn't attract women. Women are attracted to the source of strong emotions, and logic doesn't create strong emotions for the most part. The most important question isn't why should she like you? The most important question is, how does she feel about you? How does she feel around you? How do you make her feel? It's not about why she should like you, it's about how you make her feel. You can never convince a woman to like you using logic. You can never convince a woman to like you logically. It goes back to the last thing we talked about in arguing. Logic is not necessarily a really good thing when it comes to dating and being in a relationship with a woman. It's not your friend. Emotions are your friend. So instead of using logic with a woman, have a fun, free-form conversation with her instead, where you're both feeling a lot of good emotions. Instead of trying to convince her to like you, just attract her properly and let her rationalize why she likes you. Let her rationalize why she feels so strongly about you. See, here's the thing. When a woman is very interested in you, she's going to take a look at all of your good qualities and say, I like him because of X, 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 and X. That's her rationalization. And if she's not interested in you anymore, she's going to see all of your bad qualities all of a sudden and be like, I hate this guy because of X, 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 and X. Well, guess what? You're the same guy either way. It has nothing to do with why she should logically like you or not. She just feels a very strong emotion for you, and then she uses all of your good or bad qualities to rationalize. And it's not just women, we're all like this. It's also how we make buying decisions, etc. So this is not a knock on women at all. It's just how human beings are wired. We respond to the way that we feel first, even if it doesn't make logical sense, and then we rationalize it later. And the current research that I've seen backs this up as well. So don't fight it. Attract her properly and let her rationalize why she likes you instead of having logic. And when you're having a conversation with a woman that you want to date, don't try to make it a really boring logical conversation. Just have fun, go back and forth between topics effortlessly. Don't try too hard to finish your cool stories. Just let the conversation flow and have fun. Your attitude of kind of being silly and challenging her and teasing her a little bit is a lot more attractive than any formulaic thing that you could say. So keep that in mind, and remember, just like we talked about in building rapport, building a strong connection with her is not about logic. It's about having unique shared experiences with her and the way both of you feel when you're around each other. So keep that in mind, and you're going to do a lot better with women. And then lastly, technology. Technology is great for building a business. Technology is great for staying in touch with friends and for a lot of things, but it's mostly bad for dating. Now listen, you can use technology to meet women, and that's great. There's a lot of great apps and a lot of great online dating sites that you can use to meet women that make it a lot easier for you to date. So that's great. That's not what I'm talking about. What I'm talking about is you must build your relationships with women in person. You need to build your relationship with a woman one-on-one and in person. So you can meet her and stay in touch with her using technology, but you don't want to try to build your relationship with her over technology. Human beings have been having romantic relationships as long as we've existed. And we've only had this advanced communication technology for a little while. So we are still stuck in the past in terms of building relationships. We need to be one-on-one with her and in person so that we can see each other's body language, so that we can touch each other, so that we can see each other's facial expressions, so that we can feel those chemicals coursing through our bodies that create those bonds between us, so that we can kiss each other, etc. So remember, use technology to meet her if you want, but don't use technology to try to build your relationship with her. Do that one-on-one and in person. When it comes to dating, technology should just be used to set up the next meetup. When it comes to dating, technology should only be used to get to the next meetup. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't text her back and forth a little bit between your dates. It just means that everything that you do with technology should be leading up to the next in-person meetup. So now you know 10 things that can help you succeed in life that can hurt you in dating. And as a thank you for checking out this presentation, we have some free gifts for you. We have some advanced free training for you, and you can get it by going to datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com. That's datingadviceformenwholovewomen.com, or you can just click on one of the links in the description box below this video. And if you're really ambitious, go grab your copy of the best-selling Attract and Keep Her system right now. Inside the Attract and Keep Her system, you'll discover how to attract a devoted girlfriend or wife and how to keep her in love so you don't have to worry about getting dumped or divorced ever again. And you'll also learn how to build an awesome, fulfilling relationship with her that keeps both of you happy. So I encourage you to end your pain and confusion about women forever. Go grab your copy of Attract and Keep Her right now. Just go to attractandkeepher.com/system. That's attractandkeepher.com/system. I'm Jim Wolf with Dating Advice for Men Who Love Women, and I'll talk to you later. Cheers.